response they actually gave didn't give us any proof that he was innocent in the first place. Like, they said he was innocent on the document and that all these allegations were rejected, but we didn't get any actual proof. They just said that they went over millions of messages from Mr. Beast and conducted tons of interviews. Like we can see right here, allegations of misconduct between company employees and cupcakes are without bias. These allegations were soundly rejected, including by alleged victims. Allegations of the company knowingly employing individuals with proclivities or histories of illegal and questionable legal conduct are similarly without bias. Here too, the allegations were rejected. Several isolated instances of workplace harassment and misconduct were identified during the inappropriate actions to address the incidents, including, where necessary, disciplining or letting go of individuals. And I bet you that they're going to give some sort of actual proof about this investigation in the near future, but it seems as though for now, this is pretty much all we're going to get. Just them telling us, hey, we're innocent, which most of the internet isn't actually believing yet because, like I said, there's literally no proof. But anyways, let's get on to the crypto stuff, which I'd say these findings are even more insane than Mr. Beast's response. A YouTuber by the name of Some Ordinary Gamers uploaded a video just a few days ago going over some more findings from Mr. Beast's crypto past, and what they found was absolutely shocking. A lot of this information we actually already knew, but the amount of money he's made from some of these crypto schemes is absolutely insane. So make sure you drop a like and also hit that subscribe button, and let's check out this video.
So this is on a website known as Arkham Intelligence, no relation to Batman, by the way. But of course, as you can see over here, this is a wallet that allegedly belongs to Mr. Beast. So this is also publicly known as a Wu-Tang Clan. Also, this would be the actual account right over here. So OX9 E67, this is the actual wallet. Now this one allegedly belongs to Mr. Beast. And as you can see, there is a whole bunch of money moving in and out amongst various different exchanges and through various different projects, right? And of course, the people who have been mapping this project, how this connects. So while this looks confusing, let's get down to the brass tacks and the very basics of this situation. How do we prove Mr. Beast is actually that specific account? So, according to this investigation, they've researched from this main wallet, OX9E67D018, and through that, they actually had identified multiple side wallets that they allegedly claimed also belonged to Mr. Beast.
So what's actually wild about this entire situation, especially looking at this picture right here, is that there's clearly tons and tons of money moving in and out of the wallets. Now, I'm not super informed on crypto, but in my opinion, this looks extremely fishy and almost like he's trying to hide his crypto earnings in some way, or overall just trying to hide his involvement in the crypto world in general. Now, again, I want to say, I'm not super involved in the crypto world, and maybe this is just normal practice, moving money between 50 different accounts, but it does seem a little bit fishy.
So there's one actual post uploaded by J. Connor Rogan. Mr. Beast doxed himself back in 2021, where they provided an Etherscan address to that OX9E67 wallet. Now, there's a screenshot of a tweet where, as you can see, CryptoPunk's bots, these are automated bots that basically tweet out the actual activity of massive NFT projects. And at the time, this is probably around like 2022, CryptoPunks was one of the hottest projects out there. Every big influencer who was into crypto was telling people who to buy a CryptoPunk, or at least that's what I was told. I never bought a CryptoPunk. Thank God I didn't jump into it. We'll get to that later. So Punk 939 bought for 50 Ethereum. So again, this was bought by OX9E67, and of course, in this screenshot, Mr. Beast comes in and says, I bought this one. Now, as you all know on my channel, one of the things that I really go for is the ability to actually back up all the evidence that I show on my channel. And one of the things that I like to do is go to the source and confirm if these things were true. So I found the actual original tweet by CryptoPunk's bot. Unfortunately, I did not find a Mr. Beast comment. So it probably either got deleted or maybe it unfortunately didn't exist. Now, I'm not accusing Connor of lying about the situation. I actually don't think Connor would lie about it. I don't think he has a reason to.
Now, would you think for sure that this was definitely a tweet that would have been deleted by Mr. Beast, as more shady business that he does was getting leaked, all around the internet from people like Dogpack and Rosina Pansino? It would make sense that he would want to go back to his old tweets or get his employees to go back to his old tweets and just scan for anything that could possibly be a threat or things that could overall be used as proof against him. So I definitely think that this was a tweet that had just been wiped in order to try to remove evidence, but again, like, I'm not 100% for certain. Budahar would also show a couple clips from the Impulsive podcast where Mr. Beast was on it, and he was talking to Logan about CryptoPunks, and what seemed to be them discussing some type of market manipulation that had happened in the past with a bunch of different people in the influencer space. I've already shown this video in a past video, but I figured I'd bring it up again since it is very valuable information, and Mudahar brings up some pretty good points.
So me and Logan both bought punks. You guys have probably seen on his Twitter that he bought a bunch of crypto punks at the same time, right?
Yep.
Gary pulled us in that call.
Yep.
So have you ever told that story?
No.
That Gary V, it's like fucking 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, "Yo, I got like 30 people to call. Hop in." I don't care. He's like, "It'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in." I was like, "Okay." Yeah. And so I just joined the call, and I just see like Logan and I don't even know these other people. I don't put them on blast.
Every heavy hitter you can imagine who's worth $1 billion was on this one call, and Gary V is in the little corner, the little square. He's going, CryptoPunks. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the next Facebook. All of us were like, okay, Gary.
I'm texting Logan.
He's
I'm
like,
like,
is this legit? All of us were like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We gotta keep the story going. So there's like all these like very successful people in this call, and Gary's just like, everyone shut the fuck up. Here's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it right now. You're all gonna buy a bunch of CryptoPunks, and we're all just like, he's like, who here owns one? And like one guy raised his hand, and it's because Gary bullied him into buying it the day before. And we're all just like, are you sure, Gary? And we're asking questions, and he's like, just buy it. I was just so pulled by his like conviction.
Yeah.
So Gary got a bunch of his rich friends to get into a call and say, hey guys, this one NFT, you gotta fucking buy it. You just gotta buy it. You gotta get it.
So it's clear that the call that they were in here was just a massive attempt at market manipulation. And in the crypto space, you can get away with making thousands of % increase on a single NFT since, you know, it's not actually a tangible item. And most of the time, this stuff can go under the rug. Also because crypto wallets are typically anonymous, unless you're like Mr. Beast and literally leaked your crypto wallet, where now people are able to see some of the shady things that you're doing. All allegedly, of course, because, you know, we don't 100%. Allegedly, of course, because, you know, we don't 100% know if all this stuff is true. It's just heavily speculated with a ton of proof.
So put OX9E67 as the main wallet that belonged to Mr. Beast. So this moment in history for YouTube, which is quite a lot, ended up actually being showcased. So according to this actual discussion, one of the ways they went down into this project was discussing something known as Superverse or Superfarm, which is actually the wildest part of the story. Now, according to this actual document, according to this research, Mr. Beast allegedly profited from an investment of $100,000 to $11.4 million on this, okay?
If this wasn't a pump and dump scam, then I'm just gonna have to rethink my life decision. $100,000 to $11.4 million is absolutely wild. Like, that type of return on investment is something that pretty much nobody ever sees. The only possible explanation for this is that either Mr. Beast was in some type of pump and dump scam, or there is some type of market manipulation going on.
as we've clearly seen from past interviews that he has participated in the past. I mean, he's openly admitted to these things on the Impulsive podcast. However, I personally see no possible legitimate explanation for any of this, and we would even see information from a couple more creators in the space, including KSI and Laserbeam of all people, who were allegedly in some sort of NFT pump and dump project.
Superverse was heavily pushed by individuals as Elio Trades, a YouTube crypto marketer with a shady history of pushing crypto tokens to his fans to later dump. Story as old as time, but they mentioned super huge influencers, not just Mr. Beast, but also KSI, Laserbeam, who would also push this to their fans as well.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, we definitely expected this from Mr. Beast and KSI, but hearing that Laserbeam was apparently involved, like, bro, that's wild. I never expected that.
A leaked screenshot from the Elio Trade stream shows the Twitter communications, which shows Mr. Beast's interest to put in 100K. So that is likely towards that super free sale, which is where that screenshot comes from. So again, like I said, when you're a influencer and you're using your brand and you're attaching it to these projects, you're implicitly endorsing them, and by the way, putting your audience up into danger. You're throwing your audience and the people that follow you into the lion's den, into the shark pit when it comes to any of these shady crypto projects. And you would think that Mr. Beast, being extremely wealthy himself anyways, why the fuck would this guy need to go after anything? This guy, if this is all true, and allegedly it's all true, allegedly, this would make Mr. Beast actually somehow more fucking greedy than Logan Paul. This would actually make him the chief successful person, you know, in terms of profiting out of any crypto project at all.
I'm just gonna be honest, I completely agree with basically everything he said here. If all this stuff about Mr. Beast is actually true, where, you know, he's doing these pump and dump schemes kind of under the rug, not really mentioning them to his main audience, but, you know, still promoting them to his hardcore fans on sites like Twitter, he'd be for sure one of the greediest YouTubers on the site, even more than Logan Paul and KSI. However, the shady part is he would for sure have to do this stuff extremely under the rug and move his money around extremely strategically so he wouldn't get caught by anyone who could potentially expose him.
But here's the wild part, okay? This is where this is actually intellectually doing it. Like many influencers, they immediately dump it off and it's very evident and visible. Here, it's all done very intelligently, where the wallet then distributes to side wallets. So for instance, one of the side wallets that was identified allegedly with OX4F7B6. So that wallet basically farmed small increments over a period between March to June 2021. So Mr. Beast keeps getting this supply of super, which he then distributes to numerous wallets, okay? The main account that was receiving it was apparently this Bobby Digital wallet, OX2CO7. So you can just see money outpouring into these various accounts right here. So what's interesting is once they were siphoned to these smaller accounts, allegedly, and if you're looking at it, you're looking at 5.82 million, 3.3 million, 249,000, 60,000. At that point, these changed. So in one case, they went to $2 million fucking dollars. That is actually the craziest return on investment I've ever seen by putting up this shield token to Iowa.
I'm just gonna be completely honest, I think that all these transactions are honestly all the proof we need to figure out that this is Mr. Beast's wallet. Like, realistically, who else would have this good of a return on investment on any sort of crypto transaction? I mean, $100,000 to over 9 million. There's clearly something extremely shady going on here, and let's be real, this wallet is definitely not owned by just a random person. It's owned by someone who clearly knows what they're doing, like Mr. Beast, who clearly has a lot of influence and can promote this token to a large amount of people to inflate the price and then sell it. And Mudahar would show another example of another token that Mr. Beast was endorsing, where you can see multiple times he would say, you know, how confident he was that this token was actually going to be huge. And then after getting all these pre-sale tokens from the people organizing it, he would notice that the token is tanking, and without notifying any of his fans, he would essentially just sell everything.
So yeah, this is one of those things where immediately the man jumps onto a project, promotes it, but it turns out that that project is being sold. Now, this is the wildest thing about this situation right here, right? Like, imagine joining a project, telling everyone that you think it's fucking hype, and then as soon as you get access to sell, you start shifting that money away, and you sell it silently. Like, obviously, this guy doesn't believe in these projects. It's literally just a way for him to jump in at a very insignificant amount of cash, promote it to his audience, balloon the project up because of his brand, and then sell off these tokens, allegedly, and make an atoms out of nowhere. The money comes from your fans and other investors who think that because a big name like Mr. Beast is attached, all of a sudden he's gone. They don't know anything, and suddenly they're holding bags. It's insane.
So overall, from what Mudahar was talking about, it seems like this investigation was done extremely well, and likely this was Mr. Beast's actual wallet, because we saw so many transactions going in and out of Mr. Beast's wallet and inflating by thousands of percentages. Honestly, some of the greatest return on investment I think I've ever seen. If it isn't true already from basically all the other allegations that have circulated around Mr. Beast recently, the guy is an absolute scumbag. I mean, yeah, he makes great content, and regardless, he's gonna have an extremely large following of people that continue to watch his videos because most of his viewers are kids as well. But now that we're finally seeing the true side of Mr. Beast and the kind of shady stuff he does behind the scenes, especially to his more diehard fans who follow him on basically all social medias, especially Twitter, we see how big of a scumbag he actually is. But yeah, anyways, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I've been posting videos about basically all the biggest dramas that are going around, so if you want to stay updated on the internet as a whole, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also drop a like. Let's try to hit 1,000 likes in today's video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.
3 is my favorite number. When you see 3 ingredient recipes, you might think it's gonna be a bunch of 3 is my favorite number. When you see 3 ingredient recipes, you might think it's gonna be a bunch of childish experiments. But we're actually testing out some legitimate, presentable recipes today. Presentable being the operative word. The only rule is that water doesn't count as an ingredient. It's the source of life, man. We have 5 savory, easy dinners and 4 delightful snacks. Let's get started. I got our first recipe from this lady. She calls it the Lazy General Tso's Girls Chicken.
Recipe, Lazy Girl Orange Chicken. Prepare a bag of breaded chicken chunks according to the package. The sauce is made from orange marmalade and barbecue sauce.
That seems pretty easy, so I have the Costco sauce and breaded chicken, and I don't have orange marmalade, so I'm using strawberry preserve. Before you judge my decision, I just want to say, do you actually think they put real fruits in these jars? First, we're gonna bake these nuggets in the air fryer or in the oven for 20 minutes. I do this every night, that's why my movement is so smooth. Then in the beat up non-stick, we'll put in our Japanese barbecue sauce. It probably works better than the regular one since it's got the Asian flavors in there. A heaping tablespoon of strawberry jam, and I'm gonna sneak a little bit of ketchup in. And that's not breaking any rules because water grows plants, plants grow tomatoes, tomato makes ketchup. Therefore ketchup is just water, and water is the source of life, man. Put down the stove top to reduce. We'll stir everything to combine and let it thicken up a little bit. Okay, is it me or is this starting to look really legit? I'm gonna top it off with some scallion. You don't have to if you want to stick to the 3 ingredient plan, but I'm very much impressed. This looks straight out of a Chinese restaurant. Why does that sound like a backhanded compliment? This is literally glistening. Let's give it a taste and rate it on 15. I'm so convinced that this is exactly what they serve at Panda Express. Even though the authenticity of preparation is the culinary equivalent of Jamie Oliver's egg fried rice, but the taste is a solid match too. I highly recommend you give it a try. But just a disclaimer, I'm a big fan of fake Chinese food. I don't really like authentic cuisines anyways. I like fat and sugar. This one is going to be the classic Italian
cacio e pepe,
consisting of double semolina, eggs, and the cacio, which is pecorino romano. We don't have pepe, so we're just going to skip it. Making fresh pasta over here, we've done it before on the channel. I use the simplest method possible, which is just measure out the eggs and double the weight for the flour. Maybe add some water if you want the dough to be soft. Cover up with plastic and rest for 30. This way the flour gets more hydrated and the gluten is more relaxed. Only use half of it because it's easier to manage. The dough is fighting me back a lot. I forgot when you use semolina, you need to put a little more water than usual. Now fold it up like how you fold your blanket. I wouldn't know because I don't make my bed. I'm gonna cut into fettuccine width, but you can do whatever you want. You might think there's no such thing as too thick, but these are. So I'm gonna pull it with my hand to try to get it thinner, but the dough immediately springs back. It's acting so rebellious, like a unhinged teenage ungrateful daughter. Reminds me of my older sister, but I'm gonna just throw it into the pot and see what happens. Interesting. Finally, we're mixing 2 tablespoons of butter and a bunch of pecorino romano. As soon as I stabbed it, I realized it's hard as a rock. I apologize, guys. If you're actually interested in a fresh pasta recipe, we did a pretty good job in this video. You can check it out if you want. The next 3 ingredients are cheese, whole milk Greek yogurt, and self-rising flour. It's just flour and bacon powder. Is that kind of cheating? So a cup and a half of self-rising flour, a cup of yogurt, and we just crumble these 2 things together. In the beginning, it's gonna be super sticky like that, but you just gotta keep kneading it. Eventually, it's gonna catch all the sides and become a smooth and soft dough. Again, we'll cut it in half and start rolling it out. I don't feel like dealing